Did you know that nearly 60% of home sellers initially overprice their homes? Yes, more than half. And guess what happens next? Price drops, longer days on the market, and sellers walking away with less money than if they had priced it right from the start. Hi, I'm Erica McClain, your go to realtor for the northwest side of Chicago and surrounding suburbs. Today, we're talking about why home sellers get pricing so wrong and how to avoid falling into that very expensive trap. If you're planning to sell, thinking about selling, or even just want to stay informed about the market, this video is for you. Let's start with this. Pricing a home isn't just slapping a number on it and hoping for the best, although that's what some agents do. So why do so many sellers struggle with it? Emotions. You raised your kids here, remodeled the kitchen, hosted 12 Thanksgivings. So of course, to you, it's priceless. Then we've got online estimates. Zestimates are like WebMD for homes, vaguely helpful, but also possibly wrong. I just had one by $100,000. Bad advice. Sometimes it's friends, sometimes it's that one cousin who once took a real estate class in 1999 and they're giving you the advice because they're an expert. Fear of leaving money on the table. Many sellers price high just to see what happens. Spoiler, what happens isn't great. Okay, now let's get into the nitty gritty. What really leads to pricing mistakes? Ignoring market trends. Real estate is hyper-local. What's happening in Elmwood Park might be completely different from Edison Park, even though they're just a few miles apart. Not using comps correctly. Sellers sometimes compare their home to another that's bigger, fully updated, has a finished basement, while theirs, doesn't. Overvaluating renovations. That $40,000 kitchen remodel, it's stunning, but it doesn't necessarily mean your home is worth $40,000 more. Skipping professional guidance. Pricing is both an art and a science. It takes experience, data, and an honest conversation, which I always promise to bring to the table. Let me tell you about one of the toughest pricing conversations I ever had. A few years ago, I met a lovely couple. We'll call them Bob and Linda. They had a charming 3-bedroom home in Portage Park. Linda was convinced the home was worth $550,000 because their neighbor sold for that 2 years ago during the hottest sellers market. I ran the comps, looked at the current trends, and suggested a more realistic list price of $485,000. They insisted on listing at $539,000 to test the market. I gave them the facts but respected their decision. Well, 45 days and 3 open houses later, the only offers we got were low balls. Interest was cooling fast. Eventually, we reduced the price to $489,000, but by then, buyers wondered what was wrong with the home. It finally sold for $472,000 after sitting for 90 plus days. If we had priced it correctly from the start, I'm confident we would have gotten full asking or close to it. Here's what we learned from Bob and Linda's story. Overpricing can hurt your bottom line. The longer your home sits, the more stale it appears, and that equals less money in your pocket. The first 2 weeks on the market are gold. That's when buyer interest is at its highest. Below that window, and it's tough to recover. Buyers are savvy. They have access to listings, price history, and they know when something's overpriced. And their agent, they're not afraid to tell them to wait for a price drop. Let's talk buyer psychology for a second. When buyers see a price drop, they smell blood in the water. They wonder, is the seller desperate? What's wrong with the house? Maybe I should offer even less. A well-priced home, on the other hand, sparks urgency. It feels like a great deal and often gets multiple offers. And yes, sometimes even above asking. So ironically, pricing lower can actually lead to a higher seller price. Crazy, right? But true. Okay, so to recap, most sellers overprice. Emotions and guesswork cloud judgment, and overpricing leads to longer market time and lower offers. Accurate pricing sets you up for success from day one. Have you had a pricing surprise, good or bad, when selling a home? Drop it in the comments. I'd love to hear your story. And if you want more tips on how to price your home like a pro, check out my other videos where I share my step-by-step pricing strategy. Oh, one more thing before you go. I want to leave you with a few bonus tips that can help you price right. Ask for a detailed CMA, comparative market analysis. If your agent doesn't give you one, ask for it. Second, think like a buyer. Would you pay that price knowing what else is available in your area? And 3, be open to feedback. If showings slow down or buyers comment on price, listen. The market speaks loudly. Price for search brackets. If buyers are searching under 500 and you price at 505, you're missing out on a huge chunk of buyers. You need to do it strategically. I hope you found this information to be helpful, useful. If you did, please like, subscribe, hit the bell. And like always, if you have any questions, reach out. All my contact information is below. I would love to answer any questions and help you in any way that I can. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you'll be back for another video.